just a little more highway.
Wow, this is inconvenient. How long is this gonna take to clean up? Because I got places to be. This video has changed my life. Let me explain why. Hi folks, I'm Paul and this is my take. Polls have shown that the vast majority of Americans are already in favor of stricter immigration policies within the United States. But this kind of thing is radicalizing. A couple of weeks ago, this video of a Punjabi truck driver pulling an illegal U-turn went viral. The video shows the man driving a semi-truck and attempting to utilize a utility turnaround, which is reserved only for very specific purposes. And it's illegal for people like you and I and this trucker to use them. This driver crossed over multiple lanes to get to this turnaround, and in the process of doing so, he killed 3 people in a minivan. And a few moments later in the video, we see the outside of the truck and the full scope of the damage that happened. The man's name is Harjinder Singh. And in the following weeks of this story and the development of it, it's radicalized a lot of people. We learned a lot about Harjinder Singh and a lot about people who are like him. And I mean that in a few different ways. The death of those 3 people in that minivan was the result of a cascade of illegal actions, failure of our authorities and systems, and a total disrespect and disregard for what America is and who Americans are. This man came to America illegally, was allowed to stay by the state of California, somehow obtained a commercial driver's license despite failing to understand what over half of our road signs actually mean, attempted to illegally use a utility turnaround on the highway, and ended the life of 3 innocent people. And honestly, he didn't seem all that bothered by it. Like, does this kind of thing happen all the time in India? Is this like a minor inconvenience back in his home country? I have been more upset about hitting a squirrel in my car, and this guy killed 3 humans. What is that? That is totally foreign behavior, literally and figuratively. It would be bad enough if the story ended there, but it doesn't. After his detainment and arrest, a petition was started by his fellow countrymen, who I assume also reside within the United States, pleading that he not be punished with deportation or imprisonment, but rather be given a more lenient sentence, such as community service. That petition received over 2 million signatures in just a matter of days, accompanied by hundreds of videos featuring people from India arguing and pleading in his defense not to be punished for breaking our nation's laws and killing 3 people. And again, it would be bad enough if it stopped there, but it doesn't. Now, there are rumors circulating that the 3 people that he killed were pedophiles. His supporters are making memes, making him out to be some kind of a hero. People are making up rumors about the victims of this guy's crime. And at the time of me recording this, I don't even know if the names of the 3 people who died in this accident are even public. And they're just lying. They're just making things up. This whole chain of events is incredibly radicalizing for a lot of Americans against people who are not Americans. Like, think through this with me, okay? Empathize with me. Those people in that minivan could have been my parents. My parents are Florida residents. They could have been driving to the beach to visit my aunt. They could have been going anywhere, and suddenly their lives are ended because of this guy. This guy who doesn't belong in our country in the first place, who was allowed to stay without any kind of vetting, who was given permission to operate the equivalent of a 20-ton battering ram, and he looked on in an expression of unfazed inconvenience at the sight of a mangled steel mess that contained the bodies of the 2 people who raised me. And not only that, but then millions and millions of this man's co-ethnics start a campaign to free him from any necessary punishment, merely on the fact that he shares the same racial identity with them and exists in the same country that is not their own. And to top it all off, they start spreading a rumor about my dead parents that they are pedophiles. This story actually makes me sick to my stomach. This kind of behavior is frankly evil. It's disgusting. It's foreign to America and to American values. And I'm sorry, I don't want to share a country with it. I shouldn't have to share a country with it. Now, some people will argue that accidents happen everywhere, and not every immigrant is like this, which is true, but here's the difference. Every crime that is committed by someone who has broken our laws to be here is a crime that could have been very easily prevented. This is now something that can and will continue to happen to anyone unless we do what's necessary. This didn't happen in a border state. He came in to California from Mexico and was allowed to stay. This tragedy occurred in Florida. Florida is not a border state. It could happen anywhere, and it does happen anywhere, and it doesn't need to happen. The reason it's so heinous is that it is entirely preventable. There are dozens of points within this cascade of actions and events at which this could have been prevented. And not only that, but there are millions of people, as proven by this petition, that would see that this kind of thing can continue and people face no justice for it. In my opinion, deportation for this man is a very merciful thing that we could do for him. It's probably the most merciful thing that we could do for him. And not only that, but I think that same mercy should be extended to everyone who signed that petition. The last 3 or 4 weeks have been very interesting because this story has developed in tandem with several others in the United States that share a very similar theme. Take, for example, Omar Fateh, the Somali man running for mayor of Minneapolis. He has lost the endorsement of the Minnesota DFL after an ethics committee investigation uncovered fraudulent practices and pay-for-play corruption connected to Fateh and his campaign. This is also not the first time he's been connected to a scheme to defraud the government and its systems. While not being directly involved in it, he was connected with the Feeding Our Futures nonprofit organization. This nonprofit organization stole over $250 million out of the state's USDA-funded school nutrition program over the course of the COVID-19 pandemic. This organization was comprised of almost exclusively Somali people. We constantly see racial loyalty within these outside groups. Politicians like Ilhan Omar have on numerous occasions mentioned that she is fighting for the interests of the people of Somalia. These people are explicitly not loyal to the United States. This is a nation. The United States is a nation. But it's becoming increasingly obvious that a lot of people don't see it that way. Rather, it is seen merely as a strip mine for people who do not have any loyalty to it and therefore have no business being here. At the same time of all this, we're seeing Hindu statues of demonic monkey gods being erected in places like Texas. We're watching riots in Los Angeles where people are burning things and flying the Mexican flag. None of this is American. None of this has respect for America or Americans. And a lot of people are feeling like this is all being done in an effort to fundamentally destroy America, to change it, to make it something that it's not. America doesn't have monkey gods. We don't do giant pagan monkey statues here. But you can do that in India. So if that's important to you, you should go back and do it there. We don't appreciate or allow scamming or defrauding our systems to benefit yourself or Somalians. Maybe that flies in Somalia, I don't know, but it doesn't fly here. You should go back. We don't fly the Mexican flag on American soil. But do you know where you can proudly fly that flag? Mexico. If that's important to you, you should go back. We don't start petitions to release someone who has killed 3 people just because he's the same race as us in America. We don't do that here. If you think that we do, you should go back. These are the thoughts of millions of Americans who are exhausted with seeing this, and they want to stop seeing it. And they are not bad people for wanting that either. Growing up, a lot of these people were conditioned to believe that saying something like, you should go back to where you came from, to be one of the most horrible things you could say to a person. But it is events like these that completely destroy that conditioning. America wasn't built to absorb the cultures that want to replace it. You used to be able to call these kinds of ideas and thoughts and discussions hateful and racist, and it would end the discussion there. But we're at a point where that doesn't work anymore. The discussion will be had, regardless of whether or not you think that these ideas are racist or mean or intolerant, because it's getting harder and harder to deny their validity. It's getting harder and harder to call them incorrect, because they're not incorrect. And this is a conversation that needs to be had. America is a place, it's a nation, it's a people, it's a nationality. And there are ideas, beliefs, people, and behaviors that are foreign to and entirely incompatible with America. And yes, they should go back to where they came from. That's the moderate option. That's the merciful option. Americans don't want to destroy these people or their culture, but we shouldn't be forced to tolerate them within our own borders. And I hope everyone understands that soon, for everyone's sake. I hope that it's understood sooner rather than later. Either America starts enforcing who does and does not belong here, or America will no longer be America. And I don't want to see what that's like, and I don't think you do either. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. But I would be interested to hear what your thoughts are. Have you witnessed this kind of clash of cultures and these patterns of behavior? And do you think they're compatible with America? And more interestingly, what kinds of peaceful solutions would you propose? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. As always, if you enjoy my content and want to see more, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I will see y'all next time.